Did you know 90% of people have been manipulated at least once? A quick montage of someone feeling pressured at a car dealership, being showered with compliments by a salesperson, or receiving a guilt-tripping text from a friend. Ever felt like someone's playing you like a fiddle? You might be dealing with manipulation. Manipulation is when someone uses sneaky tactics to control you and get what they want. It can happen anywhere, from friendships to relationships to even online. But the good news is, you can learn to spot it. What is manipulation? Manipulation is the act of indirectly influencing someone's thoughts, feelings, or actions to get what you want. It's like playing a game with someone's mind, often without their knowledge. Here's the key difference between manipulation and healthy persuasion. Healthy persuasion. This involves presenting logical arguments, appealing to the other person's interests, and respecting their right to choose. It's a win-win situation where both parties benefit. Manipulation. This is more about using emotional triggers, guilt, or even threats to get someone to do something they wouldn't normally do. It's a one-sided game where only the manipulator benefits. The manipulative cycle. Think of manipulation as a cycle with 3 stages. 1. Isolate. The manipulator might try to distance the target from their support system, friends, family, to make them more reliant on the manipulator. 2. Exploit. Once isolated, the manipulator can identify and exploit the target's vulnerabilities, fears, or desires. 3. Control. Using the exploited vulnerabilities, the manipulator gains control over the target's emotions, thoughts, and ultimately, their actions. This cycle keeps the target trapped in a manipulative relationship. Guilt tripping, the sneaky weapon of manipulators. Guilt tripping is a tactic manipulators use to make you feel bad about yourself and pressure you into doing what they want. It preys on your natural desire to be liked and helpful, turning it against you. Here's how it works. They play the blame game. Manipulators might make you feel responsible for their problems or unhappiness. Phrases like, "If you really loved me, you would," or "See, you always let me down," are classic guilt trip lines. They highlight sacrifices. They might remind you of all they've done for you, implying you owe them something in return. This can be especially effective with parents or partners who've provided a lot of support. They play the victim. Manipulators might act hurt or disappointed, making you feel like the bad guy if you don't give in to their demands. The silent treatment can also be a form of guilt trip. Examples. A friend. "I really needed you to come to my party, but you bailed on me last minute. Now everyone will think I'm unpopular." A co-worker. "I stayed late last night to finish that report to help you out, but now you're telling me you want to change everything. This is a waste of my time." A family member. "After everything I've done for you, you can't even do this one small thing for me." Remember, don't let guilt cloud your judgment. It's okay to say no if something feels wrong. Gaslighting. Messing with your mind. Gaslighting is a particularly insidious form of manipulation that aims to erode your trust in your own memory, perception, and sanity. It's like someone slowly dimming the lights in your reality until you start questioning everything you see. Here's how it works. Denial and distortion. The manipulator will blatantly deny things they said or did, even if you have clear evidence. They might say things like, "You're imagining things," or "That never happened." Trivialization. They might minimize your experiences, making you feel like your concerns are overblown or unimportant. "Oh, come on, you're just being too sensitive about that." Shifting blame. They'll twist situations to make it seem like you're the one being unreasonable or forgetful. The effect. Over time, this constant denial and distortion can make you doubt your own memory and judgment. You might start questioning if you're overreacting or even going crazy. This confusion and self-doubt give the manipulator complete control. Examples. You clearly remember having a conversation with your partner about something, but they insist it never happened. You find a missing item you swear you put away, but your friend claims they never saw it and accuses you of misplacing it again. You express a concern about something, but your family dismisses it as just your anxiety acting up again. Remember, if you find yourself constantly questioning your own reality, it's a red flag. Trust your gut and reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist for support. Triangulation. The trouble triangle. Triangulation is a manipulative tactic where a person brings a third party into a relationship to create drama, insecurity, or competition. It's like the manipulator is setting the stage for a messy play, and you're stuck in the middle. Here's how it works. The manipulator might gossip about you to the third person, portraying you in a negative light. They might compare you to the third person, highlighting their superior qualities to make you feel inadequate. They might pit you against each other, encouraging competition for their attention or approval. The effect. This creates a toxic environment filled with suspicion, jealousy, and confusion. You might find yourself constantly trying to win the manipulator's favor or defend yourself against the third person. Examples. A romantic partner might constantly talk about their amazing ex, making you feel insecure about your relationship. A parent might favor one child over another, creating sibling rivalry and tension within the family. A friend might gossip about you to another friend, stirring up drama and distrust within your friendship group. Remember, don't fall into the manipulator's trap. Focus on your own self-worth and maintain healthy boundaries with the manipulator and the third person. If necessary, remove yourself from the situation. The silent treatment. The chilling weapon. The silent treatment, also known as stonewalling, is a weapon of silence wielded by manipulators to punish and control your emotions. It's a form of emotional abuse that can be incredibly damaging, even though no words are spoken. Here's how it works. Withdrawal and cold shoulder. The manipulator shuts down communication completely. They refuse to talk to you, make eye contact, or acknowledge your presence. Emotional disconnect. This sudden withdrawal creates a chilling distance. It makes you feel isolated, unwanted, and desperate for their approval. Power play. By withholding communication, the manipulator holds the power. They control when or if the silence ends, leaving you feeling powerless and confused. The effect. The silent treatment preys on our natural desire for connection. The silence can trigger feelings of anxiety, guilt, and self-doubt. You might end up apologizing or going to great lengths to appease the manipulator just to break the silence. Examples. After an argument, your partner refuses to speak to you for days, leaving you feeling confused and desperate to make things right. A parent gives you the cold shoulder as punishment for making a mistake, making you feel like a disappointment. A friend ignores your texts and calls after a disagreement, leaving you questioning your value in the friendship. Remember, don't chase after someone using the silent treatment. It's a manipulation tactic, not a healthy way to resolve conflict. Focus on setting boundaries and prioritize healthy communication in your relationships. If someone consistently uses silence to manipulate you, it might be time to reevaluate the relationship. Love bombing, the sugar-coated trap. Love bombing sounds innocent enough, right? Showers of affection, compliments, and grand gestures. But behind the sweetness lies a manipulative tactic designed to create an unhealthy emotional attachment. Here's how it works. Fast and furious. Love bombers move the relationship at breakneck speed. Early declarations of love, intense compliments, and overwhelming attention can be intoxicating, making you feel special and adored. Gifts galore. Love bombers might shower you with gifts, both big and small, creating a sense of obligation and making you feel like you owe them something in return. Future casting. They talk endlessly about a future together, painting a picture of a perfect life that seems within reach. This creates a sense of dependence and makes it harder to leave. The effect. This intense affection bombards your defenses, making you feel loved and validated. It can be hard to see the manipulation at play, especially if you're craving connection. However, this initial high is often followed by a shift. The underlying motive. Love bombers aren't genuinely interested in building a healthy relationship. They use affection to gain control. Once they've hooked you, the excessive displays might wane, replaced by possessiveness, jealousy, and even emotional abuse. Examples. A new partner tells you they've never felt this way about anyone before and starts planning a future vacation together after just a few dates. A friend bombards you with compliments and gifts, making you feel like you can't say no to them when they ask for favors. A family member smothers you with affection but becomes critical and controlling if you try to assert your independence. Remember, true love is built on mutual respect, trust, and healthy communication. Don't be swept away by a whirlwind of affection. A healthy relationship develops gradually, not overnight. Be wary of anyone rushing the pace or showering you with excessive attention. Trust your gut and prioritize relationships that feel genuine and balanced. Playing the victim, the masterful masquerade. Manipulators are skilled actors, and one of their most effective roles is playing the victim. They twist situations to garner sympathy and deflect blame, making you feel responsible for their problems. Here's how it works. Martyr mode. They paint a picture of themselves as constantly suffering or misunderstood. Phrases like, "Why does this always happen to me?" or "Nobody cares about me," are designed to tug at your heartstrings. Blame shifting. They expertly turn the tables, making you feel responsible for their actions or misfortunes. They might say things like, "If you hadn't made me so angry, I wouldn't have yelled," deflecting blame for their own outburst. Exaggeration and distortion. They might exaggerate situations or even fabricate stories to make themselves appear like the victim of circumstance or someone else's wrongdoing. The effect. Their performance can be convincing, especially if you're naturally empathetic. You might find yourself apologizing or going to great lengths to help them, even if the situation isn't entirely your fault. Examples. A co-worker constantly complains about their workload and blames you for not taking on more tasks, making you feel guilty about setting boundaries. A friend portrays themselves as the victim of a bad breakup, painting their ex as the villain and subtly seeking validation from you. A family member uses guilt trips about past sacrifices to make you feel responsible for taking care of them, regardless of their own actions. Remember, don't get caught up in their performance. Look at the situation objectively. Are their claims truly justified? Here are some tips to counter playing the victim. Set boundaries. Don't allow yourself to be pressured into taking responsibility for someone else's problems. Offer support, but not at your own expense. Empathize, but don't enable their behavior. Focus on facts. Don't get drawn into emotional manipulation. Stick to the truth and avoid getting defensive. If necessary, walk away. You can't control someone's behavior, but you can control your own. If the situation becomes overwhelming, it's okay to distance yourself. By recognizing this manipulation tactic, you can protect yourself from emotional exploitation and maintain healthier relationships. Fear attachment. keeping you on a leash. Fear is a powerful motivator, and manipulators know how to exploit it to their advantage. Fear attachment is a tactic where they use threats, intimidation, or even subtle anxieties to control your actions and keep you compliant. Here's how it works. Threats and ultimatums. Manipulators might use direct threats of punishment, like withdrawing affection, financial support, or even physical harm, to keep you in line. Ultimatums like, "It's your way or the highway," are another tactic to force you into submission. Stoking anxieties. They might prey on your existing fears or insecurities. They could exaggerate potential risks or consequences to discourage you from doing things they don't approve of. Creating a climate of fear. They might cultivate a general sense of unease or instability in the relationship. This keeps you walking on eggshells, afraid to upset them or rock the boat. The effect. Fear can be paralyzing. It can make you doubt your own judgment and suppress your desires. You might find yourself compromising your own values or sacrificing your happiness to avoid the manipulator's wrath. Examples. A boss constantly threatens job security or negative performance reviews to keep employees working long hours or doing tasks outside their job description. A romantic partner uses jealousy tactics, making you feel insecure and afraid to talk to other people. A parent might use guilt trips about financial dependence to control their adult child's life choices. Remember, don't let fear dictate your life. Healthy relationships are built on trust and respect, not threats and intimidation. Here are some tips to counter fear attachment. Recognize the tactic. The first step is to identify the manipulation for what it is. Challenge the threats. Don't automatically accept their claims at face value. Consider the likelihood of those threats actually happening. Build your confidence. The stronger your self-esteem, the less susceptible you are to fear-based manipulation. Seek support. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist about what you're experiencing. Having a support system can empower you to stand up for yourself. By recognizing fear attachment and taking steps to counter it, you can break free from manipulative control and reclaim your sense of security and well-being. Time pressure. The ticking clock of manipulation. Ever feel rushed into a decision you later regretted? This is the power of time pressure. Manipulators love to create a sense of urgency, making you feel like you have to act fast before the opportunity disappears. This can cloud your judgment and lead to impulsive decisions that benefit them, not you. Here's how it works. Limited time offers. They might dangle a tempting offer, but with a strict deadline. Phrases like, "This offer expires at midnight," or "Only a few spots left," create a sense of scarcity and urgency. The slippery slope tactic. They might pressure you to commit to a small initial step, implying that it's a simple formality before a bigger benefit. However, once you're in, they make it difficult to back out. The fear of missing out. They play on your fear of missing out on a good deal or opportunity. They might exaggerate the potential benefits or consequences of not acting immediately. The effect. When you feel rushed, your brain prioritizes quick decisions over careful analysis. This can lead to overlooking important details or potential downsides. You might end up agreeing to something that's not in your best interest just to avoid missing out. Examples. A salesperson pressuring you to sign a contract on the spot for a product you haven't fully researched. A friend urging you to buy tickets to an event without giving you time to check your schedule or finances. A family member pressuring you to make a life-altering decision, like moving or changing jobs, before you've had a chance to consider all your options. Remember, don't let the clock bully you into a decision. a legitimate offer will still be available if you take some time to think it through. Here are some tips to counter time pressure. Give yourself a moment to calm your emotions and gather your thoughts before responding. Don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions or request more information before committing. If something feels off or the pressure feels excessive, it probably is. It's okay to say no and take your time. Let the manipulator know you need time to consider the offer. A genuine offer will respect your need for thoughtful consideration. By recognizing time pressure as a manipulation tactic and taking a step back to assess the situation calmly, you can make informed decisions that are truly in your best interest. False praise and flattery, the sugar-coated trap, Part 2. We already discussed love bombing as a manipulative tactic, but flattery deserves a closer look because it's often more subtle. False praise and flattery are compliments that are insincere and used to gain your trust and manipulate your behavior. They might sound good on the surface, but they lack genuine appreciation. Here's how it works. Excessive and over the top. The compliments are often excessive and over the top, making them feel fake. They might focus on superficial qualities or exaggerate your abilities. Self-serving. The compliments are often geared towards making the manipulator look good. For example, they might praise your skills in a way that makes them look like the one who helped you develop them. Sudden shift. The compliments might come out of nowhere, especially if you haven't interacted with the person much before. This sudden change in behavior can be a red flag. The effect. Flattery can be intoxicating. It can make you feel good about yourself and lower your guard. You might be more likely to agree to their requests or overlook their shortcomings if you believe they genuinely admire you. Examples. A co-worker constantly tells you how brilliant you are, but then takes credit for your ideas in meetings. A salesperson showers you with compliments about your taste in clothing to pressure you into buying something you don't need. A new acquaintance flatters your intelligence, but then uses it as an excuse to constantly ask you for favors or advice, which they never reciprocate. Remember, true compliments are specific, sincere, and focused on your genuine qualities or accomplishments. Don't be fooled by flattery that feels excessive or self-serving. Here are some tips to counter false praise and flattery. Acknowledge the compliment, but don't overreact. A simple thank you is sufficient. Pay attention to their actions. Do their compliments match their behavior? Are they genuinely supportive, or are they just trying to use you? Trust your gut instinct. If something feels off about the praise, it probably is. By recognizing false praise and flattery for what they are, you can avoid being manipulated and build relationships based on genuine appreciation and respect. Keeping you in the dark. Concealment of information. Manipulators aren't known for playing fair. One of their favorite tactics is concealment of information. They strategically withhold key details to gain an advantage, leaving you with an incomplete picture and making it difficult to make informed decisions. Here's how it works. Partial truths and omissions. They might tell you part of the story, but leave out crucial details that could change your perspective. This creates a misleading narrative that benefits them. Vagueness and ambiguity. They might use vague language or intentionally unclear explanations to avoid taking responsibility for their actions or to create confusion. Outright lies and deception. In some cases, they might resort to outright lies to manipulate the situation completely. The effect. When you're kept in the dark, it's hard to make sound decisions. You might end up agreeing to something that wouldn't be in your best interest if you had all the facts. This can lead to feelings of frustration, confusion, and even betrayal. Examples. A car salesperson neglects to mention the accident history of a used car they're trying to sell. A romantic partner hides their financial problems from you until they need a loan. A friend withholds information about a surprise party for you so they can catch you off guard and potentially manipulate your reaction. Remember, knowledge is power. Don't be afraid to ask questions and seek clarification. If someone is being overly secretive or vague, it's a red flag. Here are some tips to counter concealment of information. Ask direct questions. Don't be afraid to be specific about the information you need. Do your own research. Don't rely solely on the information the manipulator provides. Pay attention to inconsistencies. If their story doesn't add up, investigate further. Set boundaries. Let them know you expect transparency and honesty in your interactions. By recognizing concealment of information as a tactic and actively seeking out complete information, you can empower yourself to make informed decisions and avoid being manipulated. The blame game. Projection as a manipulation tactic. Imagine being accused of the very thing someone else is doing. That's the manipulative trick behind pool projection. Manipulators twist the situation around, projecting their own negative traits or behaviors onto you. It's a sneaky way to deflect blame and make you question your own reality. Here's how it works. Accusations and attacks. The manipulator might accuse you of being dishonest, lazy, jealous, or any other negative trait they themselves possess. These accusations can be shocking and leave you feeling defensive. Rewriting history. They might twist past events, portraying you as the one who did something wrong that they actually did. This can be especially confusing if you don't have a clear memory of the situation. Playing the victim. By projecting their flaws onto you, they can portray themselves as the victim of your bad behavior. This manipulation tactic is designed to gain sympathy and deflect attention away from their own wrongdoings. The effect. Projection can be disorienting. You might find yourself spending more time defending yourself than addressing the actual issue. It can also create a self-doubt and make you question your own perceptions. Examples. A cheating partner accuses you of being flirtatious with others. A friend who constantly gossips about others accuses you of being a troublemaker. A parent who struggles with anger issues accuses you of being overly sensitive. Remember, don't get caught up in their blame game. Trust your instincts and focus on the facts. Here are some tips to counter projection. Don't accept the blame. Recognize the tactic and don't internalize their accusations. Refocus the conversation. Bring the attention back to their actual behavior and the issue at hand. Set boundaries. Let them know you won't tolerate being blamed for their actions. Consider your options. If someone consistently uses projection to manipulate you, it might be time to re-evaluate the relationship. By understanding projection, you can protect yourself from emotional manipulation and maintain healthy boundaries in your interactions. Wow, that's a lot to unpack, right? Manipulation can be sneaky and take many forms. Hit that thumbs up button if any of these tactics resonated with you. Empowering yourself. How to stop manipulation. All right, so we've talked about all these sneaky manipulation tactics, but the good news is you have the power to protect yourself. Here are some key strategies. 1. Become a boundary boss. Learn the art of no. It's a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing your well-being. Set clear expectations. Communicate your needs and limitations up front. Don't be afraid to walk away. If someone consistently disrespects your boundaries, it's okay to distance yourself. 2. Trust your gut. Pay attention to red flags. Does something feel off about a situation or person? Don't ignore that feeling. Listen to your inner voice. Your intuition is often right. Take a step back. If your gut screams danger, give yourself time to process the situation before diving in. 3. The power of questions. Don't be afraid to ask why. Clarification is your best friend. A challenge inconsistencies. If something doesn't add up, speak up. Seek additional information. Don't rely solely on what the manipulator feeds you. Petits. Build your support system. Surround yourself with positive people. Having a strong support network of friends and family who have your back can be a powerful shield against manipulation. Seek professional help. If you're struggling with manipulative relationships, a therapist can equip you with valuable tools and strategies. Remember, you are not alone. Manipulation can be tough, but by recognizing the tactics and prioritizing your well-being, you can build healthy, respectful relationships. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content on healthy relationships, and share it with someone who might need it. All right, everyone, that's all we have time for today. Remember, recognizing manipulation tactics is the first step to stopping them. By being aware of these sneaky behaviors, you can protect yourself and build healthier relationships. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to join the channel name community, and don't forget to share this video with anyone who might be struggling with manipulation. Knowledge is power, and together we can raise awareness and build stronger, healthier connections. Safe out there, and remember, you deserve respect. Until next time.